Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk all about Killteam and how we feel about it after very minimal amount of games. Alright, well, stay tuned. Okay, so Killteam came out and it's pretty fun. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it.
I mean, it doesn't matter because we already play 40k and it is small 40k.
Really? Which is actually, I do like the concept of it, so that's cool.
For quick games, it's fine.
But, yeah, so this episode is going to be all about Killteam for the most part, unless we run out of stuff to talk about. And in that case, then we'll just kind of mad-lib and figure it out. But with us today, we got the full crew finally, so there's all 6 of us.
First time.
First time, yeah. I mean, we've only had 3 shots so far, and, you know.
We've blown 2 of
summer.
them.
But, so we're all here. We got Chris,
Wow,
Eric, Derek, Kyle, and myself.
Matt.
Whatever. I figured
No,
if they've
you can't
listened
do
to
that.
the other ones,
They can't do that.
if
Sorry.
they've listened to the other ones, they would know that that's the one missing.
No. Anyway,
Everyone knows who is.
Everyone, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta cut that out. You fucking cock. Making me do more work. Actually, I'll probably just bleep that.
No, that was good. Yeah,
I'm just gonna bleep that.
Yeah. I thought that was good. No,
Dick.
That is pretty funny though. So anyway, moving right along.
Moving right along. So we've all got a Killteam game or 2 under our belts. So we figured we'd do just a quick, what the hell do we think about this game?
Since we're professionals.
I would love to hear, going around the table, if we could go into lists and do a little quick description of why you're running, what you're running, and just kind of go from there. So, start with Chris.
Motherfucker!
So I have 3 kill teams because I'm just all full bore into this game. Actually, I built 3 before we even started playing, but that's...
I'm pretty sure that registered.
Sorry, just did my namesake there.
It's Queef Chan.
Give a sec.
So I first kill team I wanted was Space Marines, Reavers specifically, because they're garbage in 40k. I mean, they're not garbage, but no one plays with them, including myself. Really? I have to be louder?
You're barely registering.
Is it
They
quieter
are
today?
recyclable, though.
I've never been on this side of the table
that Type
before,
2
so maybe
plastic.
that's what's going on.
Maybe. I can always listen to
We
it back.
can
and
change,
just-
then you'll actually be the first person around the table.
Well,
And I'm pretty loud.
I just thought it'd be really funny to like bait someone and switch to somebody else.
So I picked Reavers because I like the models, but I don't like the rules for the models in 40k. Turns out they're literal flipping amazing in Kill Team because if you give them grapnel launchers and grav shoots, which you'd never do in 40k, they're Space Batman. It's great.
Space Batman.
Yeah,
Space Batman.
they're amazing. They can't get shot. They have too many attacks. They have 2 wounds. They're awesome. And I know you had probably a similar experience,
I did.
Eric, with that.
I did. However, I made the mistake tactically. I was still, because it was my first game, I was into the kill everything mode.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, some of the Reavers I should have specifically gone for objective points. I did not,
Yeah.
which cost me in victory points. Yeah, I was out killing,
Mhm.
and I was doing very well, getting all over the place, murdering shit. But I tied myself up too much in close combat, and as such, lost a whole whack of victory points.
That's too bad.
Yep.
But if we're talking
What was
like
the question again?
cool moves, if we're talking cool moves and Space Batman,
Yeah.
we had a move where so we got like wall. My guys are on the other side of the wall on the objective, and basically you got to picture a guy who grappling launches himself over the wall and swings around to the other side.
360 no scope style.
Yeah, and
Literal.
kicks the dude in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty epic.
It was
It
excellent.
was sweet and great because he was able to ignore like the whole vertical distance move, and I
Flamethrower
got
Overwatch.
yeah, and I got no Overwatch against him, so it was really cool tactically and cinematically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Space Marine Kill Team. I built. Actually, I bought the 2 halves of the starter box.
Oh, you took both.
I did. That was my half, and Kyle got the rest. But so I built Genestealer Cult. Basically, what I could build is what's in the box. Like, you can't really go too crazy with what you can build. I can't build like 3 mining lasers or something because there's no acolytes in there. Or no, there's mining lasers. Sorry, mining cutters and lasers and drills. Seriously, I'm yelling.
You're not yelling, man. You're barely registering.
Why don't you come hug me?
That's
Does he
fine.
fucking-
Yeah.
Scooch up like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, this is literally how.
Ooh, that's a bad noise.
Yeah.
How's that?
Sure.
Can I speak normal now?
Uh-huh.
Derek's gonna have to shout now, but
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. I can always fix it in post. It's fine.
This is what you said last time, and your kid's still yelling at me.
Yeah, but last time you were sitting in front of the microphone, and it was like it was inside your throat.
Do I need to...
Anyways...
Do I need to tally scream again to
No,
figure out where to
just-
sit? Okay, so Genestealer Cult, build them, base out of the box, whatever. Skitari, same thing. I'm done. Go, Eric.
the actual Eric
Yeah,
to the left of the camera.
yeah.
The actual.
We'll
No, he's
go
an actual
back.
Eric too.
We'll go back.
Oh,
and
okay.
we'll-
After the cunt passed
I'm
me,
not
but anyway.
real.
I just got a starter box, the Space Wolves
How did you
In-
shrink?
box that came with the Reavers and shit. Like Chris had said, they were pretty wicked at getting over and around stuff. The one thing I found a bit lacking, I had a couple ranged units. They did some stuff, but I found, they really didn't really do much. I found it way more useful to have more up close guys chopping faces up, or even some mid range shit. So it was enjoyable. I think next game, because I also had enough points to throw in some regular Space Marines, I think I might do a few less Reavers and do maybe another tactical Marine or something, just to give myself a bit more stopping power on the range side of things.
Some more gusto.
Yeah, some more kicking. But otherwise, it wasn't bad. I found it was like others had said, it was just a quick 40k game, smaller scale. I found the terrain was, I found it was a bit tight. You were pretty close. Everything was in the range because all the gun ranges and shit are still the same. You were really close to everything. But all in all, it wasn't bad for a starter thing. I think personally, from my feeling, I would rather enjoy just doing a smaller point game of 40k. But it was still enjoyable. I do not regret my purchase of the starter kit. So
That's good. Well, 5 Reavers, even you can transfer that over into 40k.
yeah,
And they're still kind of fun, which is really cool.
yeah,
But if that's all you're going to be running for the most part for the kill team, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Why don't do you have more to say?
Oh, yeah, the other thing I found with the starter kit, even at max points, you could only get about 87, or
Yeah.
maybe closer to 90.
I
What was it? I think it was
about
90.
90 points, yeah.
It was about 90 points. You were lacking 10 or so.
Not the end of
So
the world.
yeah, and also there were some rules that required the actual code, the actual full handbook. It did not have the info for shock grenades in there. It said refer to the code, the big book. So there are some weapons you will need the bigger book for. But yeah, that's it for me. Go on to
Let's jump over to other Eric's.
other Eric.
See what his list is like.
My list.
Because so
was-
far we've just been kind of reviewing the game as well at the same time.
So, should I be doing that as well?
No, just go into your list.
Okay.
I was originally just planning for this.
So my list was really complicated. So I was like, okay, I have Harlequins on the shelf. Don't interrupt me. I can see you trying. I had a bunch of Harlequins on the shelf, and I was like, well, I haven't run the Harlequins in like, I don't know, 40 years, something like that. So I was like, I pulled them off the shelf, and I was like, I wanted to run a bunch of them. But, and I was like, I had a really like,
They're made out of twigs.
what's the word? I had a really like frolicky look in Solitaire that I painted up that was like the rainbow in a model. So I was like, he's great. I love rainbows. So I put it down on the table, and I was like, I have 5 Harlequins, and I'm not gonna have shitty Harlequins, so I wanted to make them all like super badass. So I gave them all Harlequins Embraces, which sounds lovely, and I gave them all Neuro Disruptors, which sounds not lovely, but they were both 2-point upgrades. I think that's right.
Sounds right.
So they were 19 points a model. So I had like 19 points, so 5 dudes, and they were just like total murder machines. Maybe the 3 points to the Neuro Disruptor.
No, because you had 6 guys in the list.
5.
I thought you had 6.
Nope. Might have felt like it.
Yeah, it seemed like it because they never died. They never died.
And I played against Matt, and I rolled really well in my 4-up invulns. Way better than I should have. I think Matt would agree. Yeah, so anyways, that happened. I killed a lot of people.
Yeah,
And
So-
it didn't matter.
5 to 9, I had 2 guys left, and I had killed 2 guys.
Yeah, you killed 2.
Yeah, it was rough.
So, what I learned from that experience was that if you build a list to kill people, you're going to have a bad time. Which is kind of ironic for 2 reasons. The first one is the game's called Killteam, and if you kill people, you're probably not doing it right. Anyways, I ran 5 clown people as Insane Clown Posse. Derek, your turn.
That's an awesome name for a list.
Thanks.
So
That's the
am
oldest
I,
SCP!
am I talking about my list
Yeah,
today
like-
or where I want to go with it? 'Cause it's
Sure,
such-
whichever works.
Okay, well, I kind of ran just a tester just to learn the game and just took some basic, because I only have 2 choices. So I just took simple Chaos Marines, 5 of them, and then I took 7 cultists, I believe. Anyways, where I want to go with the list is the same thing, but probably 4 Marines and a couple extra cultists instead. Want to give them flamers.
Easy to do. Yeah.
To everything.
So much fire.
Because it's cool.
I know it's hot.
And I like the cultists just for objectives. You can't get shit all done with them, but as to echo what Eric said, it's a point-based game, I mean, in the end.
Yeah.
So if you can have, like, even if you stick 2 cultists on an objective, I mean, it's still a little bit of an issue to pull off, even in Killteam, right? So they work the same as they do in the big scale games, which is nice. So I still know how to make everything work. I'm really looking forward to taking a kit of Fallen from the Dark Angels, and I'm gonna paint them up to the best of my ability and
Which is quite good.
make them
Quite good.
really, really cool.
By the way, those who don't know, Derek does like commissions and shit, and it's awesome. Check it out.
Just
Yeah,
started.
there's going to be a thing playing later in for that.
Cool.
So
Even better.
give you some nice ad revenue.
I love me some ads.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to get the ad revenue. He's supposed to get the commissions.
That was a good catch.
Sure was.
Kyle.
All right, so I decided I wanted to play Scions, and actually, I decided I was going to play Scions for Kill Team. Basically, when they said they were going to do Kill Team in the summer, back in like I don't know, pretty sure it was like April. Yeah, I picked up a box of Scions, expecting that they were going to drop Kill Team in like I don't know, maybe like May or June. And then now we're waiting until the last week of July. So my list consisted of about 9 models. Had my leader, my 3 specialists. I had a heavy guy, a demo guy, and I went with a comms specialist. My goal was to, and I guess I probably could have gamed it a little more, and you know, because there's some really silly things you can do with the Astra Militar. I'm running like 8 plasma dudes, which is just insane, or you know, the same sort of thing with flamers. And I mean, auto hitting in this this game is insane. But I didn't really want to do that. I kind of wanted to have every dude be really unique, and then any sort of like really crazy abilities. I wanted to get that out of my specialists, and the combos that you can get out of running the specialists. So I wound up taking the hotshot volley gun, which is something you don't often see running on the in the big game in 40k. So that's my heavy weapons guy, and I dolled him up with you know, big stogie. He's smoking a cigar, and I've got my yeah, it's pretty sweet. yeah, he's pretty sweet. So I've kind of got this like this commando team going on. I've got my my flamer dude with this this cool like mask and the beret, because the Scions kit's pretty sweet, and that heavy. Sorry. Okay, and that flamer kit's pretty awesome. And that guy just he did so much work as the demo. As the demo thing, and it wasn't even the flamer auto hitting. It really was the demo specialist, and the tactic you get with that gives you just a bunch of +1s to wounds, and so frequently I was being able to wound on 2s, and it just gets you so much work done, and that was really cool because I had like one of every weapon, so there was always a different tool for every job. And that made my kill team a lot of fun to play, and got a lot done for the 3 or what? How many games did we play yesterday, Chris? Like 3 games? Yeah. Yeah, got me a lot done. Except in our first game where the Reavers just destroyed me because I couldn't do anything. And once I was in combat, there was just not enough. There just wasn't enough options.
Chris taught Gotham City to fear the Batman.
Oh boy,
Reavers are cool.
The Batman.
The
Batman.
The Dark Knight reigns for sure.
He wish he had armor like that shit.
Yeah. But it was really cool, and I have to say, I didn't feel hampered into building any one way, and I still don't, even having played against 3 different lists, which was cool. That said, I mean, we've only played 3 games, so there's still a lot to play and a lot of different armies to try that list out against. So that opinion could change.
Well, if that's all.
You even told us about your list there, bud.
No, I was just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
I got 3 technically, because I've got 2,000 Sun ones that I haven't tested out yet, and then 1 Dark Eldar. The Dark Eldar one actually did kind of what I was expecting it to, which was nice, but I think there's a few tweaks here and there. I ended up running, what was it? 3 warriors, or rather, sorry, a Cyberite and 2 warrior gunners. So they both had shredders, which are actually, if I can roll it well for once, they're actually pretty decent. Just 3-shot -2 AP, I believe, or 1 AP. But the multiple shots is nice, especially if you're going to split fire, right? Because the way split fire works is pretty slick.
I like that, yeah.
I haven't tried out flamers yet, unfortunately. I will, though, very soon. And then the rest of the list was filled with witches. So there were the 1 Hackatrix. Hackatrix? Yeah, Hackatrix. And then 3 fighters and 3 witches, which I forgot to grab 1. So it was 2 witches, which I don't remember exactly how that went down because my head was screwed up somehow. But I played against Eric, against the Corsairs list that was mentioned earlier. And it went pretty
Corsairs?
much...
Harlequins.
Harlequins. I don't know where... the fuck did I think Corsairs?
You were looking at Shadow Spectres earlier.
I mean,
Oh,
they're
that might
cool.
be
We
why.
all wish we could play them.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah, against Harlequins, sorry. But the game went the exact same way that all of my even regular 40k games go, where the dice totally rape me when I roll them, and I usually lose. But our game... I think I kind of we both went in a little bit blind into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We walked in blindfolded into a cave blind.
pretty much. I read half of the rules and just didn't finish it because I was like, oh, this is exactly like 40k. But the end of our game ended up with, I had 16 VP and Eric was at 5, I believe. But
Yeah.
I feel like I should have lost because I lost a lot of models. Otherwise, though, I really like the way that the list performed. And I really like the tight quarters as opposed to Eric.
Oh, I
not liking-
had no problem with tight quarters. I just thought that the map was too small in general.
Oh,
I
yeah,
loved
okay.
having the close quarters. The close
Okay.
quarters was really cool.
But
Having
the
all
map
the really
itself?
really small gaps between everything, I thought that was great.
But the map
I just
itself-
thought the map itself was a bit small.
Right.
All of the objectives to me seemed way too close.
right.
You could move from one objective to the next objective in one movement.
Yeah.
Really, with most of anything. So it was.
And
It
then-
felt a bit too small
Claustrophobic.
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other 2 lists I have are mostly Thousand Submarines because they're just fucking adamantium posts essentially. You get 2-up saves or 2-up 4-ups on nearly everything. But the Warp Flamers you can just take on your regular Rubric Marines for extra 4 points. You can run a squad of 5 and have 4 Warp Flamers, which is just like outrageous. Flamers at -2 AP all the time.
And like
Just insane.
auto hitting in this
Yeah.
is just
Still
it's
D6
it's
auto
really
hits.
Yeah.
solid.
D6 auto hits. The only problem I find is Flamers as always with the 8-inch range. But
And then it's going to be on one model at a time.
yeah,
But
But
Still.
Pretty
if
much
you're-
a dead model.
you can split those auto hits up, which is nice too.
That's true,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
something we didn't really touch on because
Oh.
you guys were playing your first game,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
it
flamers.
was something Chris and I playing our 3 games didn't really touch on. If models are close enough together, you can actually
Still
split
have
your
to be
fire
Yeah,
if you have
they have to be
multi-shots.
within 2 inches of the target model, like the original target model. Within 2 inches of those
Might
guys.
actually be
That's super awesome.
It's
Holy
two.
shit.
Pretty sure it's 2.
Either way,
How
you
many
can split your fire.
Yo,
Yeah,
many-
you can definitely split your fire. Yeah, as long as models are close enough together.
Yeah.
Is there a general rule of thumb of how many like regular flamers Marines can take?
It'll say it'll,
Uh,
it'll
it-
say
it'll-
on
yeah.
the build.
So
So
like
like
for
it'll
you,
say on their data sheets.
yeah,
Okay.
you've got gunners, right? And
Right.
your Space Marine, your Chaos Space Marines, you take 2 Chaos Space Marine gunners, and I think you can swap
Oh.
out.
And that's just the Marines, or is that the Marines and the cultists?
The
Like, you just-
cultists. You can take 2 cultist gunners, and I think the Chaos.
Chaos is
okay,
2,
okay.
but one might be limited like the TAC Marines, where it's a
Yeah.
heavy and a
So
special.
yeah,
Yeah.
so one of your Chaos gunners, your Chaos Space Marine gunners, can take a flamer. So you can only take one flamer with your Chaos Space Marines, and then your cultists.
Maybe we
You can
should-
take 2 flamers with your cultists.
You should double check the Thousand Suns thing just for me real quick, because if I totally messed that rule up, I definitely gotta change it before I play it.
Oh, like it might be something similar.
Well, yeah, because it just says a Rubric Marine can take a Warp Flamer.
Yeah. So you can take 1 Rubric Marine gunner.
Not even no, it's not the gunner. It's just the regular Marines that take it. The gunner can take a
Soul
Inferno
Fire.
Bolt
Oh yeah, a
pistol.
Rubric Marine may replace their Inferno bolt gun with a Warp Flamer.
Is that just
So
one?
so any of your Rubric Marines
Oh,
may
buddy.
replace your
Wow.
your
Well, it says
your-
1 though, doesn't
No,
it?
it says A.
No, a Rubric Marine.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
it'll
easy one.
specifically say 1
So,
Rubric Marine. Yeah.
Exactly 100 points, or no, I think it's 98 points. He has an Aspiring Sorcerer with an icon, the Warp Flame icon, and then just 4 Rubric Marines with 4 Flamers. It's pretty
sounds really
outrageous.
Sounds pretty terrifying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you get Cybolt as well, so all your dudes can cast Cybolt. Like,
Is that the
I,
only?
you still only get to cast your aspiring sorcerer
Yeah,
can
oh,
cast
yeah, sorry,
Cyborg,
that's
right?
what I
So you
mean,
only
yeah.
get to cast the 1 power
Yeah.
each turn. Yeah.
But is that the only thing in the entire game that can use a psychic ability?
Grey Knights as
Grey
well.
Knights, yeah.
They get
Oh,
the same
wow, that's
power.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of their
Really?
dudes can cast psychic powers, but only 1 model each turn can cast a psychic powers.
Yes.
Okay.
So it can come from any model, but only 1 model gets to do it.
Oh, and you
fair
can throw a Warp Flame pistol on that guy too. So you just get like so many shots outrageous.
So you're
amounts.
great as long as there's no terrain in the way for you.
Well, I just got to be within 8 of something and be able to see it.
Well,
Right.
if they charge and there's terrain in between, you don't have line of sight, right?
No, that's true.
Oh, but lots
So
of the
I just
terrain,
put myself out
lots
in
of
the
terrain
open.
has windows and whatnot, right? So
Yeah.
you're
And you-
But I just
yeah.
mean guys that are moving up to charge or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Placing wise, if you have a tight setup like over there, the flamers would be scary. But there's a good chance that with that kind of terrain that we were playing with, that I'm gonna be able to get stuff into melee before
Oh,
you
for
get
sure.
a chance to flamer, right?
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and
So-
so our terrain
Without having to worry about Overwatch.
our terrain may not be the best for the setup for this game.
if you look at
because-
the examples, they're
yeah,
pretty
our,
open.
our terrain has a lot
blocks.
of blocked off doors, blocked off windows, whereas the terrain that came in the box has a lot of openings. There's blown open holes. There's windows. There's doors that are open, and I think that's the intention. Is that while there should be these obstacles, they should be obstacles that you can draw a line of sight through. Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
I see.
Yeah, open space is. I think they even name open space in the book as like a type of terrain type.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, so that's what everyone's looking at for armies for the most part. Though one thing actually I did really like is if we're gonna start playing more of this, I would love to just like actually go through, buy a box, and like fully customize like a full army that I would just regularly play, because you can make them look so nice. And then I'd also probably put time in to paint most of them.
And it's so easy to set aside time to paint like 5
Five
to 10 guys.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like
Yeah.
5. If I were to paint 5 Rubric Marines, that would, and put time into it, that would be sweet. Because literally none of them are painted.
For those
Yeah.
that don't like to paint much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
So, not all at once, but what did everyone think about the game?
Let's go clockwise again here.
Chris.
So, Chris? Yeah, exactly. You skipped me last time.
Eric,
So.
you can go first. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go from 11.
I thought it was good. It, like I said before, the map itself was a bit small. I did like the tight clump of all of the different terrain. There still was enough line of sight in different areas. You still could use some shooting and take advantage of it. But at the same time, your guys with stabby things didn't feel like they had to run through like a freaking open field for 5 turns to get to something that would kill them on the way there.
Yeah.
So it was good that way. But yeah, it was short. It was good. I'd recommend it for those that like playing smaller stuff. And like Matt said, especially for people who don't want a lot to paint and aren't huge into painting, 5 to 10 models is not a big, huge thing. I mean, in a day or so, especially for chilling with friends and in a few evenings, you could probably get that done.
And you don't have to put as much detail into them as, say, we would be wanting to.
Yeah.
Like, with Dark Eldar, right? It takes like maybe 5 minutes to paint one of the models.
Yeah. So it's it's good, especially if you're starting to. Most people, I think, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I only played the first one and I was just thrown into it. I did not read the rule book beforehand. Kyle was assisting Derek and I, and also helped me make a list out of nowhere, not knowing any rules. So from where I stand, if you have not played the full tabletop 40K, you'll probably really enjoy Killteam as a starter. But from what I experienced, having played the full tabletop for quite a while and quite a few years, I'd rather just do a smaller point 8th ed tabletop game. But all in all, it was still good. It was worth buying the starter kit, for sure. Just if you want to have a quick game, don't want to have to worry about too much. Yep. Pretty good to me. How about you, Chris?
I like it. That might not be
Great,
apparent
thanks.
from...
All right,
Thanks, Chris.
and
yeah.
we're moving on.
9.6 out of 40K. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, that's shit.
Very good, yeah.
I thought you were gonna go IGN on this here and be like, oh,
10
Super
out of 10 every
Pac-Man
time.
got 11 out of 10.
Just give me enough money.
Wait, hold on. What? Super Pac-Man got a... Really?
First of all, that's not a real game. Secondly,
I'm pretty sure it might be.
it's not.
It's
Chris,
certainly-
anyways.
Just know as a
Certainly
matter
sounds-
of
Time to
sounds
look
like
this
one.
shit up.
I'm
Sounds
pretty
like
sure
one.
it's a
Somebody
game.
Google it right
I'm
now.
pretty sure Super Pac-Man's a game.
Anyway,
Let's find out.
okay, Chris.
Ooh, we're redlining when we laugh. That's great.
That was just
That's
you.
fine.
Fuck you.
That was me.
Super Pac-Man.
I like the game. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
this
totally
I'm-
is a
hold
fucking
on.
video game.
Oh, Super Pac-Man, motherfucker.
Did it get an 11 out of 10 on IGN?
Oh yeah, that's.
I don't know, but it was released on August 11th of 1982. Wow.
Wow.
On IGN.
Did IGN even exist in
So it got
1982?
an 11
No.
out of 9 technically, right?
Super Pac-Man. Why are we doing this on the podcast?
Anyway,
you are doing it,
It's
sir.
fine.
Chris.
It doesn't matter.
It's a review. They
It's
don't
fine.
give a...
This is more work for him.
It has an
Go ahead.
8.0. 8.0 out of 10.
This kind of shit
On
happens on
IGN?
podcasts all the time.
On IGN, yeah. Somebody gave it
There
a
you go.
full review, 8.0.
All right. Well, we certainly beat that horse of a joke.
Shows
that
you,
threw
Eric.
out into the dust.
Fucking
My goodness.
noob. God.
So,
What?
How do I feel about? Yeah.
You liked it.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, Eric.
What did I
That's
think
all
of it?
you have to
Let's
say?
just beat this fucking
No,
joke to
but
the
you know.
ground.
He keeps getting
Hold
distracted.
on. What about Super Mrs. Pac-Man? Is that a thing?
Probably.
We better look that up.
No.
Yeah, I like it.
Great. What did you like about it?
Yeah, Chris.
Do I have to
Okay, I'm
prime
gonna
you
have
for
to talk,
every
right.
single...
We're gonna turn this. Yours in particular is gonna be like an entire Larry King live episode. So
So how do you feel about that, Chris?
What did you like about it?
Foul.
believe
I'm
he's still
Sarah
alive.
McLaughlin.
It's fast.
He's not.
It's tactical. It's fun. It can be a little swingy. Me and Kyle played a.
Wait.
What?
How is it tactical?
That's literally It's literally tactical. You can't not play it tactically. You're moving a model in a different direction, in a tactical way. It's not.
Anyway, it can be a little swingy.
Yeah, so me and Kyle both played AdMech for one game, and while our lists were different, we both kind of hinged a little bit on having a sniper with support. And since Kyle went first and rolled well, and just thanks to he killed my sniper support, and then my sniper was basically dead in the water. So it can be, a bit shitty in that regard, but.
That's a problem.
It's a one-off.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's like
problem
40K.
with 40k
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
the first turn syndrome, and I could have
Yeah.
mitigated that by terrain. We didn't really have 2-level terrain in the middle or anything, so it's not something that's going to happen every game you play, but it can happen. But that might just be more of me not being super into this Atari team that I built, so that's fine. Still really like Marines,
I
so
forgot to finish my thoughts.
it's fun. It's a fun game.
Excellent.
I will play it again. I mean, I played it 3 times in 3 hours. I would play it again. For sure.
All right, Eric.
Moving on to Derek.
Yes.
What?
I'm kidding. Go for it, Eric.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, it's very much an entry level game. Like, it's very much a gate game to get you into the wider franchise.
That's probably their plan. Yes.
Yeah, but like really. So like the rules are very like reminiscent of the larger 40k game. And like if you pick up one infantry box and you're like, oh, this was a huge mistake. Well, actually, you have a kill team, so that worked out nicely. They did that really well. If you picked up one box of scouts or one box attack marines, that's a kill team now.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I mean, tax are better, but like if you got the tax, they'd be a
Are
good
you,
kill team.
are you just justifying all of the unopened boxes in your basement?
I don't have to, because I already did by playing Kill Team with Harlequins. It's definitely, like, if you're used to playing 40k in, like, a really min-maxy kind of way, I think you're going to hit the bottom of the depth of this game really fast. Because you're going to realize a couple things really quick. And, like, again, let me just preface this. I only played one game, but that game told me a lot, I think. So my understanding is, and Kyle, back me up one way or another, or tell me I'm wrong if I am, which is very real.
You're wrong.
Some of the missions have kill all of the enemy team win conditions, and some don't.
Sort of. It's more like broken or unbroken. So if one side is broken, then it's a straight win. Or if and then some of the missions don't have that. Some of the missions do. Right, so it's not necessarily a wipe or not wiped, but there is that broken or unbroken.
So some missions will definitely favor combat more than others.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so
absolutely.
do you pick your kill team before or after the mission is decided?
That I'm not sure of, but we can quickly check that.
Sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that would be really interesting. Because what the way it's supposed to work, I guess, in a campaign setting, right, is you build a roster of 20 guys.
Yeah.
And then out of those 20 guys, you build 100 points worth of a kill team list.
Yeah.
If they die, they get off if they're removed from your roster, and you have to replace them with someone who's new, right?
Yeah.
Or less dead. In this case.
Well, yeah, in quotations, because you can go just replace the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then just give them a different name. But if that's the case, and you find out your mission beforehand, then you can just like specially pick your team right away.
Yeah.
Which
so,
kind of seems like you're building, or like building to advantage, which I don't think I'd be super fond of.
Well, in match play,
Yeah.
my understanding was, and again, I haven't actually read through the entire book, but you have your 20 dudes, and you pick when you know what you're playing against.
Yeah.
And I think you can figure out the mission
So
after.
no, you would be picking your mission first.
You pick the mission first.
And
Yeah.
then you pick your team, which I guess
And then you pick
makes
your
sense.
So you find out your opponent and the mission, and then you pick your team.
Yeah, you would find out your mission first, and then you would pick your team because the mission describes what way you would pick your team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
So if
So-
the mission tells you to not be a douchebag and build against your opponent, is that a thing?
Do it anyway, probably.
I mean, this does the book does clearly or does include rules, and I haven't gone through that for developing a roster of 20 kill team members. And from that roster of 20 kill team members, you create a battle-forged 100-point list to play your matched-play game from.
Or your campaign
Right?
game.
Or your campaign game,
Yeah.
because it would work for both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it does things like you can't duplicate in match play. You can't duplicate specialists. You can't have more than the initial leader in 3.
Yeah.
So you might set up your list so that this is good against hordes, this is good against elite, but you don't have two comms to choose from, one with the flamer, one with the sniper rifle.
Okay.
You pick your comms dude you've made, or you don't.
Right.
So you could have a team with just a leader. I think you always have to pick the leader. I'm not sure on that, but you could have a team without any specialists or with all of them, but you can't mix them around.
Yeah, I haven't had an opportunity to look really clearly or really deeply.
In campaign, I
So
believe you can recruit multiple of something like a demo specialist, but not in.
So in a case like that, when you have 20 models to choose from and your kill team is closer to like 6-ish, maybe 6 to 10, you can build your super killy list or your objective holding list.
Yeah.
Right.
And so in a case like that, I'm not really sure why you are restricted to 20 in the first place. Like, it seems like in a lot of cases you would never need that many. And
Well,
you might as well just build your list.
I think what it kind of, I mean, yeah, in that sense it doesn't really, make sense. But I think what they're doing, right, is that you get the roster of 20 to pick from.
Yeah.
But then each one of them gets levels, right?
But that's in campaign.
So if we're playing campaign, I think even then, in that same sense, you only use the 20-man roster for campaign.
It sounds
games,
to
don't
me
you?
like
No,
they did
match play does use the.
Oh, you use it in
play
match
do.
play too.
Which is kind of weird.
I
Sorry.
wouldn't be surprised if they did it close to Shadow War Armageddon, because you use your points, you build your dudes. As you get more points, you can add more guys as reinforcements to either join in, or you can change guys out. And at the end of your match, things that didn't die get experience.
Yeah.
And things that did end up dying, they aren't dead after the game. You roll a dice to see whether they have a negative for the next battle, or they have to sit, or if they have to sit out of the next battle, or if they do actually die. So if you had a roster of 20, I mean, that would make sense to me, because occasionally, a guy might come out of battle, got wounded, got pulled out. You might roll dice shitty, and fuck, he's dead. You might have to then get a new leader, or add another guy in there with no experience or something like that.
And then another rule for the experience too is the new guys that you've put in there, if they enter a battle, they don't get experience until their second match. And if they want to get experience, you have to have them play with experienced like other models. So if you've got a list of like a bunch of level 2s, you lose one, and then you replace him with the same war gear, he's no longer level 2, right? Say if he was one of your comm specialist or something.
Yeah.
He's no longer level 2, and if you put him in a match, he doesn't level up until his second match comes around.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a way of rotating and keeping things from being like your whole list is like, oh well, we might as well just play at level 3 because we're going to be there anyways.
In a campaign.
In a campaign,
Yeah,
or
campaign.
even match play, right? Because if it's for
In match play, you're only level 1.
Yeah, they don't
You
level
are
up,
restricted
and you're
to level
limited
one.
to level 1.
oh, they don't let you level up.
They don't
match
let you
play.
level
I was thinking it'd be interesting if they did a match play for the whole tournament, right? If it was based on a tournament, you enter your
Level up
roster,
every
and then as you
round.
play your games, you would level up every round,
That's
and then
the
the
dream.
finalists
That'd be
would
the
be
dream.
like a whole squad of level 3 straight up elites, right? That would
Yeah.
be super cool.
So every tournament would be a full campaign, essentially.
essentially,
which would be amazing.
that'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
But I guess apparently that's not how they want to do it because they're lame.
So, like,
Fuck you, GW. Fuck you.
the impression I'm
Making
getting
new
from this
games for us.
system is that, like, the whole 20-man roster is like training wheels.
Yes.
So you don't have to build a whole list every time. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll pick these
It-
guys.
It hits on 2 points.
I wonder. It also might be so that you don't have to sit there every time and go, well, do I want to give this guy that? I don't know. You can just go, taking these 5 guys, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so, like, if you're playing, I don't know, Chaos,
Sure.
how many choices do you have anyways? Like, you have your cultists.
I have cultists and marines, and that is it.
And then each one you
Some
can
get
put.
hamstrung for sure. Like with
Yeah.
the Grey
Oh
Knights.
yeah, for sure. Like DD
But
only has
why?
2
But
options.
with that being said,
Harlequins
it sounds,
have 1 option.
Grey Knights have 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have access to a lot more variety in weapons.
Yeah.
I could be wrong
Yeah,
on that.
and the marks and the icons, right? I mean, that's also a place where you have more variety.
It
Yeah,
sounds
but-
like GW race favoritism again, because you look at Space Marines, you can do 4. You've got Scouts, you can do Tax, and if you have Primaris, you can do Primaris, and you have all the weapon choices versus Chaos. They limit
Yeah.
chaos,
That's
but you
good
get more marks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Your Grey Knights are very limited.
I think
different things.
I think
are
the reason
limited.
that happens though is because there's so many chapters, right?
Yeah.
So all the different chapters make up like half the armies in the game, and then there's the Xenos and all the other shit, the chaos.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have to have more options because you've got more options to play just as Space Marines.
Well, if they had put in different chapter rules for each of the different chapters, sure.
I think they're
It sounds like they will.
they might. Yeah, it
They-
sounds
they
like they're
said they
leaning
will.
towards putting chapter
Yeah.
tactics in
okay,
there.
because right now it's just Space Marines. Doesn't matter whether you play Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels, Ultramarines. Everyone's the
Yeah.
same right now,
Except Grey Knights,
except Grey Knights.
because they're psychic and
It's a model kit issue too, though,
Ridiculous.
right? Like they built the game to sell 40K to the hesitant. So if you want chaos, you can buy that box of cultists, you can buy that box of attack marines.
You're
Yeah.
done.
What other plastic basic dudes can you even buy? You know,
Yeah.
if you look at like Guard have a ton of options. Tau, they have a ton of options. They put a couple fluffy things in like orc commandos and stuff, but you look at you're limited. Like look at the new kits like the GSC kit that has a ton of weapons and stuff.
yeah.
So you can choose all those options because it's in the box. You compare that to something else like, I don't know, something that's unfortunate.
Dark Eldar.
Yeah. like the warrior box.
Well-
like really how many things can they actually put on? You can put like what, 2 special guys in your leader if you just wanted.
Yeah,
Cabalites?
you get if you're just doing Cabalites,
Yeah.
you get a leader and 2 gunners, and the rest have to be regular. But I think the regular ones can still swap out their weapons for a few different things because they've got special weapons and heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems as if the regular guys can swap out for the heavy weapons and the special or the gunners or the heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to, which is totally, I think, absolutely ridiculous to even bother, you could throw a Dark Lance on your gunner. Like, why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you with a anti-tank weapon.
Is there anything that
It's
has,
almost
that has a
guaranteeing
2+ armor
death,
save
though.
though?
What?
Is there anything that has a 2+ armor save? Grey
Thousand
Knights or
Suns will
something?
get it
That was-
because they've got
although
all
not
this
against
rule.
not against that though.
So against, yeah, 2-up armor save, but then they also have a 4-up invuln save.
Yeah.
As long
Still,
that,
4
sorry,
invuln save versus a 2+.
that's only against weapons with damage characteristic of 1 though.
So your
So it'd be
Dark
5+.
Lance would annihilate those 2+ armor saves.
Yeah, but I mean they still only have 1 wound.
It's good
right?
against Plague
So what do
Marines,
you need
though,
D6 wounds for?
right?
Make sure it's
Plague
dead.
Marines.
With the way that I mean, I guess,
Oh, actually,
but
if I could jump in here, how many points is Dark Lance?
I don't
In
know
this
if
game,
you
like
can even
5.
take a, I don't know
I'm pretty
if
sure
you
you
can
can.
take a
This
Dark
game.
Lance.
You
Pretty
can.
sure you can.
Yeah, you can. It's
it
not
might be
very many
2.
points.
So I have 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's
Two
between
is
2 and
That's cheap
5.
because a missile launcher's 5.
Well, yeah, but I only get 1 shot.
Well, and the
You only
missile
get one-
launcher also
one
has
opportunity.
2 different. Missile
She's
launcher
everything
also has
you
2 different
want.
firing modes, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
I think in this version. Yeah.
I mean,
Of the
20.
game.
Yeah.
Right after that.
20 models to a list though. They want you to expand, so they want you to buy more kits.
Yeah.
And I think they want to
4
avoid.
points. Yeah, 4 points for a Dark Lance.
They want to avoid feel bad situations where you brought I brought a 2-man 1,000 Suns army. It's a sorcerer and then a
100
Sandgore
points, 2 guys.
sorcerer. Yeah, and then you play against
Fucking
I brought
17 pairs of
yeah.
power armor.
I
to
brought
cover their bodies.
7 Gene Stealers and as many
Last
other
little
guns,
bits,
and
just
then you're
like
just like,
stuff
well,
out
I'm
of guns, that's all
gonna
they can
get
reach
5 to 1, you know.
Yeah.
So if you have 20 models, you're like, okay, well, actually, I'll bring
It's like
a whole bunch of
5 helmets
Zangors.
stacked up. All
to have a
right
chance
off
against-
But if you
set.
have one
Exactly.
Xander, you got 10.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, in a case like
So their
that,
line of sight
I don't really
is down
know.
to only that
That said,
direction.
I'm
Their
actually
coverage
having a
fuck.
really hard time. I'd seen it in the Warhammer community page where they talked about this like roster and then selecting your kill team for match to play from a roster, and
Right.
now I'm having a really hard time finding it in the core
They might
manual.
have just
so
straight up ditched it.
Butters
now I'm going back
right.
to the community page and seeing if I can't.
okay, well, how about this?
find-
Until we find confirmation one way or another, we'll assume it's not a rule. So you can just build whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not like you don't have to build
You
a
can't just
roster
play
to
narrative.
play, right? Like when we
Yeah,
sat down to
well-
play, we didn't build a 20-man roster. We built
No.
a 100-point list and we just went with it.
But
right?
I mean, on that same note, like, you could just house rule anything you wanted when you're playing casually, right? So
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
playing in an actual semi-competitive scene,
Can we house rule that all bolters are strength 17?
and you could, you
DL.
could.
AP
So-
-7.
And so, like, that's whatever. We won't touch that until we probably but, like, if you guys have actually played it and you've run anyone with a flamer, they're really good. I'm going to apologize in advance here. I'm probably going to mostly bitch about technical things here. The flamer, in a board that's small, auto hitting when that's such a new thing, like cover makes it harder to hit. Flamers no longer care about cover. They're strength 4, which most things aren't. So you're wounding on 3s. They're again auto hits. You can advance and use them, which most guns can't. You can use them on
Unless it's a heavy
Overwatch,
flamer.
and they're auto hitting.
And you can split fire them because it's you roll your d6, right, to figure out how many auto hits.
Yeah.
And then anything within 2 inches of that target model, you can split those shots up on.
There you go.
Fair, I do believe you have to declare your targets before you roll your hits.
Because what I was reading, it definitely did not say that.
Page
It said
62,
you-
Kyle.
Honestly,
It said you declare.
Page 62.
I've been to page 62 and there's nothing clear about that, right? I
About-
mean, it just says Battleforge Kill Team, and then it shows you your limits.
Well, while you guys are looking that up, Derek, what did you think of Killteam?
Probably can't get into it like you guys just did there, but there's a couple things that I can bring up. I like that field charges aren't all wasted, and that
Yeah.
you still get that movement out of it.
I
That's
love
pretty
that.
cool. Especially if you try to play a melee oriented army and
Yeah.
you want to try a charge and then you basically back to square one. That sucks. So that's out of the game, so that's cool.
Keeping that movement is actually really, really big too.
Yeah.
Which also I think it kind of helps out with the way that the statuses work. So even if you chose not to move, you still counted as charging that turn, which means you can't shoot, right? So at least you get something out of it even if you fail.
Right, yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So that's kind of
Totally.
nice.
Totally what I mean, and just the simple things like alteration. You can't just like shoot out some of your opponent's units before. I mean, you might get one if you shoot first, but you're not going to totally like sway the game in your advantage if you happen to go first, right? And the fact that even alternates each turn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that who gets the initiative
that's
alternates
really cool. That's
every
really
round.
cool. I like how you can ready troops for. They kind of take the initiative on shooting
Yeah.
compared to something that wouldn't. That's pretty cool because if you're
If you're
you're,
running a gun heavy army.
yeah, or if you're your range specialist guy, I can't remember what that guy's
Well,
name.
the
All kinds of
heavy or
different
the
The
down-
he-
gunners
yeah,
or
yeah.
heavies or whatever.
Yes, you could ready him, right? Your heavy bolter, and then really put the hurt on, and before he even gets a shot at or something. Hopefully, I like that cover's very important. That's cool. It makes it easy to playing on the smaller map to fill it up with terrain. That's really cool. So I feel like as a hobbyist, it's something you can put a lot of focus into and do a good enough job and still get it done in a reasonable amount of time without breaking your bank. And yeah, that's pretty sweet. So I really want to build a kill team table, so that'll be sweet. I will like flamers. Just hearing you guys talk about them more and more.
Right. Everyone seems to love them.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to try them.
I'm gonna
I
put
want
as
to
many
now.
of them
Yeah, I know,
as I
right?
can fit. Some of my favorite stratagems from the big game are actually in here, where I can get anything with the Mark of Khorne to attack again for 2 CP. That's sweet. And I also like Veterans
you
of the
got
Long
that.
War.
That transferred over for you.
Yeah, and Veterans of the Long War.
Yeah, they're-
add 1 to your wound rolls.
Yeah.
There were some
So that
pretty
could be good.
sweet stratagems that came in the starter pack too that aren't in the
Yeah,
code book there.
some of the regular ones.
yeah, man.
Yeah. What else do I got here? I like that CPs, you get 2 at the beginning of every turn.
Yeah.
You could kind of save them up and then kind of do some combos. Like, I feel like Veterans and Fury of Khorne, those, if you attack again and you
Yeah.
got +1 to wound, you can really, you waited 2 turns and had 4 CPs.
If you want something really dead, it's really dead.
You can, yeah. If you pick and choose and
Yeah.
but that could apply to really
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
As for things I didn't really like, cultists suck. But I kind of knew that going into this. But with cover being as important as it is, and I do like that, tried shooting into models in cover with cultists, and they hit on 4s already. So let's say that cultist doesn't have a flesh wound on it yet. If it doesn't, it's hitting on 4s. If it's shooting into cover, it's hitting on 5s. If it's got a flesh wound, it's hitting on 6s.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is just load up with cultists and run onto the objectives that were worth the
Stand
most
there.
amount of
Just
points.
do like your little ritual on the
Yeah.
objective while you're
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So
Let the Marines worry about shooting.
I think a couple of them with maybe flamers might work. I don't know.
Well, those
Probably.
auto hits, because you said the cover and the
Right,
hit was the
yeah.
big issue. The
Yeah,
auto hits
so-
would probably make a big difference.
but they're
right?
gonna die pretty easily too.
Yeah.
So
Well-
maybe I don't know if it's cheap enough.
But you
we'll
can
see.
you can do 2 flamers on 2 cultist gunners. So that's,
Yeah.
that's-
It'll take playing
yeah,
around.
that's like
No,
8
one
points.
flamer on
Yeah.
2.
But I mean, coming back,
Be
You
16.
just get 2 flamers on cultists.
Yeah. It'll be 16
Yeah.
points for like two cultist flamers.
yeah, I mean, so it's
Any gunner
very
model should
easy
be
to
able
do.
to do that.
But I mean, going back to
Yeah.
the alternation, something I disliked about that was that you're kind of going all over the board, like back and forth, like taking turns with your opponent. I kind of at times, more often than not, forgot if I attacked with him or not yet. I was like, oh, I definitely did attack with him, and then Eric was like, oh no, you definitely did. That's how you put that wound on him. I'm like, oh,
That's
shit,
what
yeah,
the
put it right
tokens
here.
are for.
Yeah, he's
right?
looking at tokens.
These-
They give you all the tokens.
These tokens aren't actually for we were using them for the flesh wounds, but the idea that they had was that Eric, I don't know if you still have your card or not that came with your little box.
Okay, but
They're in my
regardless,
But the idea is that you're supposed to be tracking your flesh wounds on like a piece of paper or a card or something for
Right.
each of your guys, and then these are supposed to be like an activation token.
oh, okay.
So that you're using this to kind of indicate that this model like has activated, or you know it's a model that you haven't activated yet, and then you take it away and okay, I know this guy's done his stuff already.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, so I mean that's null and void then. So I mean, easy enough to remember if you have tokens.
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
know because I didn't
The tokens would definitely
forgot
help
about
out,
tokens.
'cause
Too.
they give you a lot.
They gave us tools. We just didn't necessarily use everything that we could have used.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about this, if I like it or if I dislike it, but it doesn't feel quite as bad to like this degree in the bigger game. But playing Marines versus Marines is hard to get anything done.
Yeah, it feels like you're just kind of smashing heads against each other.
Yeah, and it's
Really.
such a slow war of attrition.
I mean,
Yeah.
in all fairness, neither of us really had any fancy weapons on the Marines. I didn't have the choice,
Fair.
and you decided you didn't want any of the
Yeah,
power weapons
fair
and shit
enough,
like that.
fair enough.
So we did end up with very basic guys smashing faces against each other.
Yeah, it was a lot of strength for AP 0 weapons, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so it was.
Yeah, but I mean, with that being said, yeah, special weapons seem necessary in most. You know, like I guess
Yeah.
if you plan on going against Marines.
Yeah.
I mean, despite the fact that cultists do suck, yeah, they're fun to use in this game just because it does come down to points and if
Well-
you can spam them and
Yeah, while they can't necessarily shoot stuff, they have many other uses for the cheap point costs that would make at least a few of them worth it,
They're
right?
expendable bodies, just like cultists should be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, out
Don't
of
expect anything.
out of the one game I played, that's all I really weigh in on. But I like the game. I'm actually into it. I think I was the least stoked on Killteam out of everyone I know.
No, you weren't.
No,
I wasn't.
You weren't. No, you weren't, man.
Okay.
Eric,
I
I
played it
probably
in
spent the
seventh.
next hour bashing this game, so.
Oh,
I
fair
played
enough,
it in
Easily.
seventh
Yeah.
and had a lot of issues with it. The biggest one for me is you couldn't take vehicles, but Necron destroyers didn't count as vehicles. So you play against Necron, and they got these fast-moving, huge fucking annihilator cannon. And you're just sitting there with little Marines going, "Okay, we're all getting disintegrated, and we're not gonna be able to touch them.
Or
Hooray!"
guard could take sentinels.
Yeah, guards could take sentinels,
like-
and you're just sitting there going, but.
Yeah.
One
Like,
thing,
what the fuck?
one thing
So,
I do
I had a bit
dislike,
of a taste.
and I feel like it's a missed opportunity. And correct me if I'm wrong, but no army gets to take Terminators, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why,
Elites,
though?
elites were left
So
out.
I think
so
they'd be
I think
too
I think
strong,
I think
to be
it's
honest.
important to kind of look at this
Well, then you
as
get Primaris though. Like I feel like that's kind of
Yeah, but
It might
Primaris
just-
with a 2-up
I-
save and a 4-up invuln or 3-up invuln, depending on the.
I think it's really
variant.
important to look at this as the
Dude,
index.
freaking rubrics get a 2-up in.
for
Yeah.
this game.
They're probably
Oh,
going to add
fair
quite a
enough,
bit.
Yeah, they get an
Yeah.
assault cannon.
But I think
and a soldier and a
Terminators would have been
chain
cool.
fist.
Like it could
No,
be an
but they all get
opportunity.
flamers.
They're
That's fair.
a lot of people will call them useless in 8th edition 40k games, right?
And they are.
This could have been
They
an
100%
opportunity. Well,
are.
yeah, and yeah, I've used them once or twice, and they're collecting dust ever since. But this could have been an opportunity to make them kind of
Yeah.
worth buying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's true.
Even if it's only one,
The
right?
one thing
Just
I
to boost the
the one
sales
thing
on
I could see them
Terminators.
doing
Right,
is what that they did do well with Shadow War is you could take a Terminator or someone souped up, but you had to spend points, and he only came in for one match.
Oh,
So
that's
if you wanted to spend extra, like if say you're playing the campaign or whatever, you had to spend victory points to bring along a Terminator. Yeah, you'd have a fucking Terminator, and okay, you were scared shitless of the thing. It would tear you a new asshole. But it was a one-time thing. It wasn't a permanent unit you could always have, and you had to spend some of your stuff to play it. So,
So-
if it had its tactical abilities, which advantages, you bring a giant chunk of huge armor and big fucking guns out there. Yeah, there's a good chance you're going to be blowing shit off the table. but you're going to be set back a bit for it. So there was a cost versus what you get out of it to it, which I could see them doing later on because it literally just came out today. And if they're going to eventually do rules and do more stuff for each different class, I could see them throwing in there something like that for every different race, because everybody has some sort of elite. Your Dark Eldar have Incubi, which are nasty. You have just about something fancy with every different race that has a bit more kick to it. So it might add a little bit more tactical possibilities and fun to throw in a one-time use versus a constant troop you can always take.
And do they give the guidelines for some type of campaign with this as well?
Yeah, they do. We haven't really
thing.
Explored that yet, but there are some guidelines for running a campaign and actually growing your kill team through experience points and leveling your specialists and actually those members of your kill team that aren't specialists. You can actually group those members up into little fire teams that accrue experience and bonuses for.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That could be really cool.
Yeah, I think if we wanted, for people who aren't enjoying it a hell of a lot right now, I think if we went at it as a campaign aspect, it'd probably be a lot more fun because it's a little more involved.
Yeah, because
You
we've done
can actually build
escalation
stuff up.
campaigns and campaign stuff, and this is like
And
built
we all love D&D.
Yeah. Just the fact that you can build up your guys, give them more experience, get you more elite dudes instead of everybody running a bare bones. I got a gun, and he's got a gun.
Yeah.
And it's the only time we've ever shot a gun, but we're Space Marines.
Yeah, and as a level, they cost more points too. I think it's like 4 points or something for like a level 2 guy.
Level ups,
It gets
you do.
expensive.
So and that's the thing is you get. You do get to bring these more powerful guys, but that means that you're cutting into the ability to bring more dudes.
Yeah,
right?
when you're bringing a level 4 Reaver and dropping an entire another Reaver, just to bring them, it affects your list.
Definitely.
Is there anything in the? I haven't read because I don't have the rule book. Is there anything in the campaign in there that as you play more games, you actually accrue the possibility to spend more points on your unit? Like, can you expand your kill team size?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely expand your you
As in,
don't
there are
expand
points
your
you get
kill
more.
team size, but you do expand the roster and the number of points
you get
models
that?
that you have.
I think it
available.
stays at 100 points.
That being
It only
said,
stays at 100
stays
points?
at 100
I think
points.
so, yeah.
that being
Okay, that's
said,
what I was kind of asking if like it would accrue more points per as you go.
That said, I mean, there's
can
no
always
reason
change
why
that.
we can't modify.
no,
it.
exactly right. Like it's a house rule. If you wanted to play a 200-point game,
Yeah.
sure, you're gonna be running 20 models or
Yeah.
so. But
I just meant, like after every third game or whatnot, you get an extra like 10 points to play with or something
I
like
love
that.
the idea of boss battles where like you have one game where it's like, because you can play, we haven't even tried this, but we could have 4 people playing at once.
Yeah.
And you could have something
Not
where
on that
someone...
size board.
No,
Well, no, you make it bigger, but
Not
you could have a boss battle where someone like brings a hive tyrant in and 3 teams have to take it down or something,
That'd
that
be
could
cool.
be really fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
kinda-
probably unlikely, but maybe something a little bit weaker than a hive
you'd
tyrant.
have to kind of just make like little house rules for it and bring it down to the same.
The core rules are simple enough. Whatever you want.
I think
with
you'd be
this
able to.
With that being said, I'll pass it off to Kyle. What do you like and dislike about Killteam thus far? You've probably played it the most out of everyone, I think.
Well,
him and
Chris
Kyle.
and I have
You guys are
played
played
a lot,
equal,
and then
right?
I've run you two, or I've run Eric and Derek through a game, and I've run Eric and Matt through a game. So for me, I was really ecstatic about a skirmish game in 40K right from I think they announced this at like Adepticon or something.
Yeah, it was a
or,
long time ago.
I don't know. They announced
dropped
it
a
in
little
like
teaser.
in like April or something.
It was even earlier.
It might have even been earlier.
They kept you
I
waiting
was
a long
I was so
time.
stoked. I think I bought a box of like Scions that you had sitting on the shelf, Eric. And it's been sitting on my shelf, just like waiting to be used, so that
This is 100% true.
I could set this up. I'm so stoked for a skirmish game, and then it was taking so long. We started looking at Infinity. I wanted to play that because I wanted a skirmish game. I wanted something that played a little faster. I wanted something that didn't take so long. I wanted something that just had a really like tight knit set of rules.
Can I throw something in here?
Yeah.
If you guys really want to see how awesome your models look for like 6 minutes before they're dead, you should play Infinity. If you want to actually play a skirmish game and see your whole army for a while, you should play any other skirmish game.
But we had been trying out.
Slammed Infinity.
We slammed War Machine last
That
episode?
shitty game.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 of us have War Machine armies. Anyways, so
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's
Including me.
Yeah.
So
But,
Malifaux next week.
I've got an army for
I
that
have a
too.
Malifaux army.
So do I.
I have 2. You do?
I do.
Okay, let's never play. Anyways.
what I was gonna say really quick on that was, it got to the point where you wanted to play a skirmish thing so badly that we just started doing an escalation league and everyone just started a new army.
Yeah.
Except
So that we could
Better.
play small points games
I tried.
because I wanted something that was a little more fast paced,
Yeah.
right? And anyway, so Killteam gets announced. Obviously, just super fanboy. Really super fanboy. Still feeling very very fanboy. Very excited about it. I think they've done a pretty good job with what they've come up with. The rules are very well written. I have to say that if the team that has put this core manual together has an opportunity to work on 40K, I'd be very thrilled. The manual is very well. It's very well written. I've said that twice now. I'll say it one more time. It's very well written.
Versus
When you
the
go
game
from one section to the next section, and you're reading through things, you see the same wording used again and again, which is something that you cannot say when you're going through the core rulebook, and you
For
cannot
8th ed,
say
yeah.
when you're going through one codex to the next codex, and you cannot say that when you're going from the codex to you can't say that when you're going from the codex to a codex's stratagems, or one codex's section to the next codex's section.
It can be confusing. as fuck.
It's really terrible. It leads to the necessity of constant updates and FAQs, the necessity of the chapter approved. Not that I think chapter approved or any of those updates or ratas are a bad thing. I think that's a huge improvement for the game overall. But when you have a well-written manual, it really leads to a solid game as a whole. So I'm really impressed with that. Really impressed with that. So moving on though, gameplay it's 40K. It's just 40K scaled down. It's small. We can all agree on that. There's a couple of quality of life improvements, like Derek mentioned. When you fail a charge, you get to move your distance, which is really nice. That's huge. I actually do love that you get to do that in the movement phase, rather than doing it in a separate phase to the fight phase, but like awkwardly in between the shooting phase and the fight phase. It's nice that it's all part of the movement phase. If you're gonna move, why not have it happen when you move your dudes? So that's cool.
I've got one thing I'd like to add in there. You just brought to mind when you were saying things. One other thing I like about Killteam quite a bit is the capability to throw fluff in there. You have your elite squad. You can go through stories. You can go through scenarios. And if you want to build your own little dudes, make them sweet as fuck, give them all names, level them up, just essentially do a D&D but tabletop Killteam version, it's there. You can either modify it very easily, or the rules are already existed there. And for someone like me, who fucking loves the fluff, that is excellent.
Thank you. And now you've ruined my shit sandwich, because I was gonna bring that up, because now I was gonna talk about some of the kind of terrible things that Games Workshop has done with the game as a whole.
Can I throw some in here? I was just
Ruin something else.
No, I was just struck with something. If any of you guys have played the Shadowrun games and really liked them, this is a lot like that.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a lot like multiplayer Shadowrun, if you've ever played it.
Has anyone played XCOM? Is it similar?
I haven't heard that, but I've
well-
heard Shadowrun's really cool.
Yeah,
XCOM?
Shadowrun's super good.
Yeah, and actually the lore for that is really fascinating, or what I've heard of it.
But the systems run very similarly.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
XCOM, not quite, but kind of. It's just more of like the way that the
Similar tactically, but not really.
yeah, kind of like the movement and stuff works the same way. You only have a
Yeah.
certain distance, all that
Just
kind of stuff.
kind of
but
that top-down feel.
Unit by
It's got that top down. The only thing is obviously different game, but the way that the like shooting and moving works is totally different.
Gotcha.
Though there could be some really awesome improvements on that game if they took notes from this.
But anyway,
Even
I
though
will.
it's an amazing game.
Withhold.
So there's some things that could definitely be worked on, and this is one of those things, or these are some of those things that just GW is a business and they got to make money, and B, there's some core game mechanics that just need to be worked on, and this is something that's these are some problems with game or just 40K as a whole. So right off the bat, Games Workshop, there are a number of stratagems and things that come strictly in boxes that are separate from the core manual that aren't available in the core manual. These are stratagems that you cannot get unless you buy a specific box. Now, this is something that GW has done with other products of theirs. I can't remember the name of the game off the top of my head, but it's
Shadespire?
Shadespire. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
It's something that other games like Fantasy Flight's done with X-Wing, where you need a specific set of cards, and you can only get those cards by buying specific models or sets.
Incentive to spend more money.
Yeah, which I completely understand from a business perspective. But it's really just uncool.
You're just solidifying people's want to go on the internet and get it for free.
Right, like,
that's a
and
good
don't
point,
get me wrong,
actually.
like the $160 set that Chris and I just split was a sweet deal. But we just spent $160 of our hard-earned cash. I kind of would like to be able to get the whole game out of that, right? Not just part of the game, but the entirety of the game out of that.
Yeah, whereas I spent $75 on the starter kits for the Adeptus Astartes, and I ended up with a whole ton more stratagems that were not in the book. I even ended up with a stratagem for the terrain that came in the starting kit.
Which is unique not only just to his faction, but also to the particular terrain set that is a part of the box that it came with, right?
So it can certainly be frustrating for those which most people look at a lot of the prices on GW and go, shit, that's expensive. In all honesty, because I'm one of those people, I don't think I'll ever buy another starter kit. I've got some of the stuff, I'll go online, and I'll probably look for shit for free. For spending that extra money, it's really hard to warrant it. Yeah, okay, you get the models at a bit of a cheaper price, but all in all, you're still spending $75 versus, do you really need that terrain and that one extra piece to do it?
When you start looking at it as, now you in order to play the game, you may be looking at that $75 for the starter set, or for the starter set you bought, right? Plus the core manual, which I believe is like $40 Canadian.
Yep.
That's $110 investment for just your guys, right? Which is can be hard to swallow for a new game sometimes.
You can always, you don't have to buy the getting started boxes, right? Because you can always just pick up a box of troops, $35, $40, somewhere in there, depending on what you're playing.
Yeah.
And then the book, which is you'll be looking at $80 without tax, right? So it's still the same price jump to get into the game as it always has been.
But now you're missing stratagems that you wouldn't have, you may not even know exist.
Exactly.
Because you didn't get them in that core.
And the terrain that goes with it
and that
as well.
terrain specific stratagem that you didn't know existed
for
someone, it didn't come in
for
that
someone
box.
that has not played any 40K yet, sure, starter set, go for it. You're gonna save your money. You're gonna on some of the you'll get some terrain, you'll get some cool sets, you'll get some neat stuff for a decent price. But for people that do play it and are willing to just throw money at it, which most people actually aren't, but they do it anyway, it's not really the best option.
So my second complaint is just as far as gameplay goes, this is a game where you've got a lot of interesting mechanics that interact with one another, where you've got stackable debuffs, either forced through by causing wounds or flesh wounds on models, or through obscuring models through cover, that sort of thing, that causing -1 hit, all that jazz. And then you've got things like flamers, right, which completely ignore all of the core rules. all of the core rules. Now, don't get me wrong. I threw a flamer in my list. Fucking love it. It was great. It did so much work for me. It's great. However, if you're going to have something that completely negates a key part of the game, you need to put restrictions on how easily accessible it is to everybody.
Otherwise,
because
everyone takes
I
flamers.
could very easily take, like, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 of those in my list. Now, I don't know necessarily how good that would be, but on paper, it looks really good, and I'll probably try it out, and I have every reason to believe that it's going to perform very well. And Matt has already been thinking about doing the same sort of thing with an even better version of the Flamer, the Warp Flamer,
Yeah, exactly.
which is just the same shit, but with AP -2. Right,
on steroids.
and this sort of thing is something that we see a lot in 40K, where we have
Spam.
yeah, we just have yeah, exactly. We see a lot of spam, and I mean any game, if there's a way to break the rules, you're going to see people abuse it. That's just the nature of the game, especially the nature of competitive play. That's how you win games, by abusing a core mechanic. But it's something that can be mitigated, and it's something that we just too often see go unnoticed and unaddressed.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat at the beginning of 8th, that LVO winning Eldar list, right? We have, what is it? Those stupid... Chris, help me out.
Dark Reapers?
Dark Reapers.
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
Reapers, right?
Dark Reapers bad.
Just ignoring too much, right? And stratagems that just ignore too many core rules. And that's what it boils down to, is things that get around the basic rules of the game. Right? That's the problem. That said, the cool part about Killteam, the coolest part about Killteam, and this was something I really wanted to do with my guys, was have one unique dude that does a unique job, and that's why I've got one of every weapon in my Killteam, or not every weapon, but you've just
You
got
can fluff it up.
you can fluff it up, right? So you've got your cool combat-oriented sergeant with his bolt pistol chain swords. Not that you Scions are particularly great in combat. It's T3 and a mere 3 attack. Well, 3 attacks is not bad. It's just strength 3 is strength 3 that's not great.
That's better than like almost better than Dark Eldar.
Almost.
Like,
Well, it's just the chainsword gives them a bonus attack.
yeah,
So,
so do the Hekatari blades, but it's just like you get into combat, but you have to get into combat to be good.
Yeah.
So at least
Well,
yeah.
That's the thing as well, right? Because I got the Reaver starter kit. Don't get me wrong, they're all Batman. They can do cool stuff, but their weapons are very limited. I have to take regular attack marines if I'm gonna kit out, like Kyle said, and take all kinds of different weapons and make different melee dudes and just snazz the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And run something
Really-
that I think looks cool and is like different to play. Yeah, okay, it might not be as powerful, but
Really
but
wanna
it's
do
gonna
that.
be
It's gonna be
cool
fun.
to look at, and
Exactly.
it's gonna be real fun. And like we kind of missed an opportunity there where with that you had one guy that was supposed to be a demolition specialist.
Yeah.
And we kind of missed an opportunity where we weren't playing. We weren't. I missed sharing what the rules are with you for that guy and what he was supposed to be doing, which was pretty huge.
Yeah.
Like that guy should have been wounding on 3s
He
most
should've
of the
been- yeah, he
time,
should've been doing a lot
and
more out
potentially 2s in some situations, which was huge. And like there's a really cool thing. Like this guy's got these like cool explosive rounds coming out of his bolt carbine, and like and it's supposed to be like these home brewed rounds too. Like he's
it adds some fun stories.
These are hand packed rounds.
They're made of moonshine.
Made of moonshine in the helmets of my dead enemies.
They use their Space Wolf alcohol that's like way stronger than regular alcohol that kills normal
Fucking
people.
Engine degreaser.
Yeah, you betcha.
Hand packed,
Boom!
but these are his
Close.
hand packed rounds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
Got little like "fuck yous" carved on the front of them, and all
Yeah.
kinds of shit.
Exactly right. But you get these really cool, unique dudes that you can doll up, and yeah.
That's the allure of the campaign, right? Because, for example, demolitions, level 2, I believe, one of the things you can pick, you increase the range of your grenades.
Ooh, that is cool.
Which on
That is
Reaver
cool.
with shock grenades is really
That's especially fun because grenades are the only weapon type, or the only ranged weapon type that ignore the long range penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
could be very
that's
handy.
awesome.
Well, I guess everyone's kind of reinforced flamers, but they're gonna be really good. Like,
It seems that way.
Really
I mean,
good.
when you've got so many opportunities to ignore for that -1 to hit, and they just
Yeah.
ignore the penalty.
especially like if you've got
Like we were initially talking about 8 plasma guns being really, really strong, and I still
Which it is.
I still
It's
think
really
I still
strong.
think that's got huge potential.
it's terrifying.
Right?
Well, it's the same with 40k, right? The full tabletop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Flamers are still really powerful. Plasma
Let's-
is still
spam.
pretty effective.
Spam is still really
Yeah.
powerful.
Yes, Eric.
If I may, I feel like flamers are better than plasma guns now. Because like when we played our game,
In Killteam.
In Killteam.
well, I mean, yeah, in Killteam. But like when we were playing Matt, it was like I had my 5 space psycho clowns, and they ran around and they killed a lot of people, but I couldn't kill your guys fast enough while they were holding objectives. And
Yeah.
at the beginning of the game, there was more of them on objectives.
Yeah.
So you would score the points, and then I wouldn't have time to catch up, and I wouldn't always turn a wound into a guaranteed kill because I only get 1 or 2 hits through.
Yeah.
With flamers,
Yeah.
if you have 8 flamers and you walk up, it does not matter at all what your ballistic skill is, or if you have a flesh wound. You do not care.
No.
Or if
Exactly.
you're wounding on 5s.
And it does not
yeah.
matter if you are aggression, or a guardsman, or a space marine. If you roll a 3 on your wound roll, you are okay. And if
Yeah.
you have a flamer, nothing happened to you.
Yep.
And then you walk up and you just roast a horde of dudes. So you completely negate that bonus. So either, to me, it looks like it's going to be hordes of cheap dudes who you cannot kill fast enough, who will get all
flamers,
the
man.
objectives and sit on them, or flamers just everywhere roasting them.
yeah, cultists and guardsmen. Yeah.
So
But just flamers.
while we're on the topic of flamers, quite a while ago in the podcast, we were talking about the split fire rule.
Yeah.
So the way it works is you roll how many auto attacks you get. You pick a unit who's the original target, and then you can also choose to split fire on anything within 2 inches of those models, but you have to declare it once you know how many shots you have.
Even more so.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So
you know exactly how many
Exactly, yeah.
shots.
So
you've
you're
got
gonna say
before
I've
you
got 4 auto
declare
hits.
split fire.
I'm gonna put 2 on that guy, 1 on him, and 1 on the other guy that's on the other side.
Yeah.
They all have to be within 2 inches of that original target, though.
Yeah.
So
That's
hopefully
just-
that clears up that, which
That's
is really strong still.
It's really good.
But then the other thing I think I like the most is that charging comes before shooting, because then your units don't have to charge. So in regular 40k, right, you move, you shoot, you charge, and then you fight. But before that happens, you get overwatched. So before you even get into combat, you're being shot at twice. Or you know what? If it's the shooting phase and they go, I can't let that get into melee combat with these guys, I'm shooting everything I can at them, right? You can just kind of negate that by charging in, being in melee combat before the shooting phase starts,
Mhm.
and then I feel like that just like
Yeah.
it's a really nice way to deny, I guess, against really shooty heavy armies. So like in the sense too, if you had flamers, right, you've
We'll
got
shut that down.
if you're inside 8 inches,
I mean,
right?
it's probably a pretty good chance.
Pretty good chance, right? But if you're outside 8 inches and say you're playing Dark Eldar, who on round 2 get to reroll their charges, right? You get a reroll on your charge, say you make that and you're 9 inches away, you don't get to overwatch with your flamers,
Nope.
and then you get back out, you don't get to shoot with your flamers again until the next round. So
When
it's
they
like,
charge.
what?
If they charge you.
No, if I charge you and then you back out in your movement phase, or sorry,
fall back.
Like retreat.
you can't because you've been charged.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah,
thing.
But you can retreat to
but you
increase
could-
their charge.
That's true.
But you still can't shoot them.
No, but then on your next turn, if you do back out, you still can't shoot. So you're denying 2 rounds,
Yeah.
right? Which is really awesome. Plus, I mean, obviously, if you fail, you still get to move closer, which is really nice. I really like that too. Charging just seems like they're like, well, feel like we should give this a huge buff.
Yeah, and it feels like it just that, and that's the thing is like all they did was move its placement in the turn.
Yeah, they took out
and
the
it feels
charge
like a huge
phase
buff.
and they just made it part of the movement phase, and it
feels like
just,
a huge buff.
It
Yeah.
kind of, it just like smooths it out. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say
really
more
nice. I
smooths
like
it
it.
out rather than buffs
A
it.
charge really is a movement, anyways.
Yeah, exactly,
Exactly, right?
Thing, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're looking at your character or your things and it says you've got a move characteristic of 8, you move your 8, now you can charge another 12. You could technically move up to 20, right? So it's like,
and I
is
think-
it really 8 inches?
I think the big downside is that say in this the only downside there is that normally you would move 6 and then you'd potentially charge another 7, right? So
Yeah, on
you're not
average,
getting
7.
that bonus movement.
Right, but you
Right.
need that movement on a 6 foot by 4 foot table.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
And
You
in
don't
this
need it on
instance, you don't need
30
that
inch
on
by
this
20
side.
inch,
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There was another topic I wanted to talk about this after, but we're getting a little long. But I really like the way, if you're a new player and you're getting into this and you just go, well, my friend's got the book, we want to play, I'm just going to pick up a team, build it, I don't care if it's painted or I do care, paint it up, whatever. You play. It works really well as a primer to get into the full-scale game because so many of the rules are just transferred over flawlessly, right? Like, a lot of the core rules, you're going to lose the retreat option on Overwatch and a few other things here and there. The charge is going to move around. But it transfers over pretty much almost like a carbon copy. And then even some of the character rules and the stat lines are all the same. Like, it works out flawlessly. So if you play Killteam enough, you know your stat line for your witch, you're going to go and jump into full team.
I mean,
We're
that's
gonna
true.
play 40k full team. You go into like full size 40k, and even if it's not full size, say you buy enough things to make 250 points, right? You're gonna know your witch stat line because it's the exact same thing, and the weapons are the same. So it's it kind of sets up a nice primer to get into the full game. But then you gotta learn all your other new stuff for characters and all that kind of stuff. But it's not going to be that big of a learning curve anymore.
You do have to learn that all the models you're playing with in Killteam are probably bad.
It depends.
Yeah, well, yeah,
You're going to be pleasantly surprised.
all the grenade launchers you modeled in Killteam are
Yeah.
coming off.
Yeah, they're not great anymore.
Yeah.
But
And all the guys you accidentally put grenade launchers on out of Kill Team now got a use.
yeah. So it works out as a really nice primer to get into the full scale, which is really nice too, I guess, on GW's pricing point, because then they're tempting you to buy more and get into the hobby, and then of course they're just going to make millions because
It's a great business model.
5 cents to print a sprue,
Yeah.
and then they're like, here, buy our plastic for millions of dollars.
It's a different color.
Yeah, right. We're making
brown
these ones
plastic.
red.
Blue plastic. You
Harder
don't have
to
to
paint.
base them yourself anymore.
Yeah.
The one things I
based.
wasn't super.
I'm gonna be rebasing mine, but
I'm
anyway.
literally basing mine right now.
You sure are. That blue looks really nice on the orange too,
Doesn't
right?
it?
Ooh, that's nice and crisp.
Sexy.
Next week, Matt's going to have Skatari to work.
Shut up. I'm not buying Skatari.
Not yet.
Not again.
In a week.
Okay, I sold them all and I regret it. Okay, is that all you want to hear?
It's going to happen.
It's a trap.
But the things I'm not super fond of was I didn't start reading any of the rules until probably about 12 hours ago.
If that.
No, well, because when I woke up, there was the group message for the PDF that was leaked online, so I just downloaded that and started reading through it, right?
I totally agree.
Supposedly, don't sue us, GW.
It wasn't us that leaked it.
No, you supposedly downloaded it.
Oh, no,
You
well,
deleted it right after.
No, I didn't even have to. No, because it does like the browser preview, so you don't actually have to download.
there was
it,
no
right?
illegal activity.
No,
Games Workshop. It's fine.
it's fine.
Blood dagger.
Don't sue me.
Or that other man down.
But I was reading through some of the rules there just to kind of help start off. Like, we were gonna show up, play some games, and I didn't want to just go into it blind. But it was the same thing as 40k, so I stopped reading it. But I was really, really hoping for something different. I didn't want everything to still feel the same, and it kind of does, just on a small scale, which I guess for their idea of it sort of being a primer to get into the full game, it works perfectly. But they were saying they wanted it to be their own standalone game, and it feels the same, so it's not really its own thing.
Yeah.
You
Hopefully
know,
that comes. Like they start simple and they
Like,
add complexity.
if they went about it the same way that like the 7th ed Heralds of Ruins one did, where it was
even Shadow War
super
was-
customizable and
Yeah.
super weirdly finicky, but
Yeah.
it was really interesting and fun.
Yeah. Shadow War was similar like that too.
Yeah.
It was different enough that you couldn't really transfer them. It wasn't the same game.
That's exactly
but
how
you still had. It was still 40K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then from what I hear, rather, I haven't played it myself, but Shadespire is that same way, where it's a board game and then there's AOS. This is 40K tiny, and then there's 40K big.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't feel very different.
And I mean, like, I honestly feel like if we wanted to, like, I could just take my kill team and deposit it on the board in
Right.
my 40K.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, it doesn't feel like it's so different.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like Killteam did in 7. It was meant to be a smaller squad-based version of the bigger one. You didn't want to play anything crazy. There were some differences, but it was still overall.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Like that's good. I just hope that like we're all saying here that as they expand upon the game, they do find a way to diverge from the larger game. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think you guys have said, they are going to be releasing their own different unit things, like different tactical stuff. They'll have their own faction-specific shit. So, with that, I could see it being much better later on, hopefully.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be adding a few things here and there.
Yeah, we've heard like chapter tactics.
Yeah. Because the one thing for me that would make this more different than like Matt was saying, just a smaller version of the big 40K, is just some of the facts that they did, like different aspects they had in Shadow War with more skills. You got more chance to have shit carry over or not, and some of the rules moving and shooting were just tweaked just enough. It would for getting people being shocked or shook or things like that. It seemed a bit more of a thing that you had to actually worry about. You didn't feel like, as a Space Marine, you still had to give a shit running straight out into the open and have everything shoot at you. It wasn't like, okay, I'm just a Space Marine, I don't have to really care so much about the first like flesh wound. I can essentially walk out there like a big fucking tank, take it like a champ, and continue going, right?
I feel like that's how running my 1,000 Suns is going to be. If I run them all with flamers, I'm not even going to worry about standing beside walls, right? Most of the shots that are coming at me, I'm going to get 2-ups on, and if not, if they have crazy AP, I'll have a 4-up invuln on. I'm just going to stand there.
You know
right?
what's awesome though? That's really fluffy.
Yeah.
And did you know that only your sorcerer ignores the flesh wound because the
Yes.
other guys are made of dust?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
But at the same time,
It's actually
how is
tragic, but that's
dust getting a flesh wound if I'm made of dust and sand?
I
there's
mean,
no
I
flesh
kind
to
of
wound.
picture
I
it
believe-
No, exactly. That's why they don't
probably
get
at
it.
as
that
like
point-
parts fall off.
till
right?
the soil.
As I get shot,
you take these
they
germ
just,
off.
the sand starts pouring out of the bullet holes.
Yeah, too many holes, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a sinking
Swiss
ship.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaking.
Two more quick things, and I have actually
Go ahead.
a positive one I just thought of. The table size, I understand they're trying to fit it on a coffee table. It feels real tight, even with 10 models in a list.
And
it
what
feels
the
real
hell
tight.
is 22 by 30? Like, whose idea was that?
Yeah, exactly.
It fits in whatever their box size is that they
So you
sourced
can
in
fold it
China,
up.
right? It's like, well, we can do this size box. Like, all right, we'll make it fit. You know,
Yeah.
fold it
Yeah,
into
but
fours.
22 by 30, I mean, like
Think of
I
the
just
box
don't
size.
understand that.
Even then, you literally could have just 24, 2 inches more by 36.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You're literally playing on like almost half a regular size
Yeah.
table at that point. But it's like another 8 inches, like, come on.
The board feels like one of those stupid deployments you get where you roll like a 5 and you have to deploy in like a pyramid in your deployment zone.
Yeah, or the stupid one on the big angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well, all the small armies seem to have been punished in the sense of you don't have as much creative fluff sort of aspect with it. Like your Harlequins, you had like 4 melee options, 4 gun options, and 1 troop.
Yeah.
Like,
To be fair,
what the fuck?
I mean, like,
They're
what
good.
that's
No, sure,
all the
they're-
options they have in their codex. too,
Exactly,
Pretty
right?
close,
but
yeah.
they don't even have options to have a fighter model. They just have a player. They don't have a player fitter.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
like
have a
even if they
player
had a
gunner.
fighter though, like the fighters get special weapon options,
Yeah.
and I mean like it wouldn't add anything to their
I guess- yeah.
I
think
whole.
They
What
did
it-
do it for like Elder have Guardians and like Storm Guardians. Like,
Yeah,
why
see,
would they
the-
bother with that? Like,
Yeah.
one's the gun and one's the sword and pistol. It's the same kit,
Yeah.
is it not?
Like,
I don't think they're the same kit. I think they
They're
are
different
two
kits?
boxes.
are they? I thought they were the
Alright,
same
well,
kit.
then that makes
Anyways,
sense.
even like Dark Eldar, right? I've got 2 options. You know, even again, Thousand Suns, 2 options, right? Like Thousand Suns can't even take cultists, and I don't think they actually can take cultists regularly. But I feel
But
like
you get Zangors.
yeah,
Yeah, they
Zangors
get
are
Zangors.
trash awful.
They're probably better than cultists though in terms of what they can do for
Disagree.
damage.
They're pretty good.
Nah,
Well, that's
I
the
hate
thing
them.
though too.
I
I
think
think
it's probably
most
because
of
I hate.
I
their
mean,
models.
and that's
Yeah.
the thing is I think because
Yeah, kinda
you're
weird, but I'm not
you
stupid
tend to
for
be
weird.
more aesthetic driven.
I am a lot
Right,
more.
and realistic, like the Zangor like bomb, it's a thing in the 40k.
Yeah,
side
oh,
of
it's
things.
a
like,
huge
it's,
thing.
It's
But
a thing,
I'm
and it
pretty
does
sure
give
they-
you a fairly spammable model in the kill team side. of
Yeah,
things,
because I mean
right?
you're paying 16 points for a Rubric Marine or 7 points for a Zangor.
Yeah.
So sure, half the points you can run more, but it's just like
Well, it's the difference
just-
between you dropping 5 models and you dropping 10 models, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah. But I feel like their data sheet doesn't justify running as like I don't know. I used them as filler for one of the Thousand Sun lists I was thinking of because I couldn't quite take a full Marine. So it's like, well, I guess 2 Zangors, right?
But at the very least, then you realize you could do the special weapons, and
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Is,
So
that
that
is the resolve
changed
any
everything.
of your questions about
Yeah.
what you should be doing with
Um,
this, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they punished smaller armies. I guess in a sense, yeah. And same thing goes for 40k, but it just feels like armies that aren't as popular got kind of shafted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
In general.
it's just the unfortunate reality, right?
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
Like, it comes down like Kyle said, they are a business. They have to
Yeah,
make money.
exactly.
So the armies that are popular, you make more shit for them. You're gonna sell more. You're
Exactly.
gonna make more money.
And I
right?
mean, it's one of those things where like the Harlequins. I mean, they have access to every option that box has, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and even if you did give the Harlequin troops, the players a player fighter, right? Like the player fighter, if a player could only take a power sword, right, and then you made a player fighter. The option to take, the caress, the kiss, and the right, like that would be so limiting because the fighters usually you have a limitation on how many fighters you can take, right? That would be so limiting for the Harlequins that they're already stuck at taking 5 models effectively,
And they are
right?
expensive,
And now only
point-wise.
2 of them can take a special weapon.
Yeah.
Right, like giving them the option to customize their, or to have every model customize their melee options and their pistol options, gives them a versatility, or a relative versatility that allows their limited selections to at least feel more open. Right. So it sucks, but it's the best of a limited selection.
I still think they should have let us have 2 model Custodes kill teams.
Model
Custodies.
kill
No.
teams. No, I
You would have got
One model Custodes.
There's
Okay, well, if that's
yeah.
the case, just let Gilliman in.
There's nothing in here with a natural 2-up save, right? Natural 2-up armor
That's
save.
fair. Yeah.
The Thousand Suns do have a 2-up armor save, but only against 1 damage weapons. Naturally, it's a 3-up.
That's fair.
Uh,
There's a distinction.
I've forgotten what my positive one to end it on was. So let's end it on a bad note.
Great, Eric.
Oh, was I
Eric, what do you got?
cute?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just.
I do have something.
You find it
Oh,
right.
do you? I was just doing a snap, but then the finger came out, and I was pointing over towards you.
That's fine. We'll spin the bottle for me. So, I mean, you guys know I play Tyranids. If this is not the first episode you've listened to, if it is, surprise. Anyways, so I play Tyranids. They got 5 options. They got the Termagant, Hormagant, Lictor, Warrior, and Gene Stealer. Everything but the Termagant went down in points and got abilities for free. That tells me something. That they thought, you should put these in this game, the troops' choices, drop them all, give them more stuff, and now they're fair. I mean, that was... Okay, so to give you an example, the Lictor in 40k is 45 points. In Killteam, it is 23 and got new abilities that you usually have to pay for. The Lictor did not even have access to in 40k. So now it gets a +1 to advance and charge rolls, just for free, on top of losing 22 points. Think about that for a second. So I think some of the balancing is definitely up in the air.
You know what that is, though?
Tell me.
They want to sell lictors.
It's
Because
well, I
they
mean,
probably haven't sold a Lictor in almost a full year.
you know, honestly,
Yeah.
I bet they still have kits from the 90s. But like, it
Probably.
doesn't even... It's
Totally do.
And,
Yeah.
But like even Gene Stealers went down, and they went down, and they're selling like crazy because
Yeah.
they're amazing. But they went down in points. Hormagants went down in points.
But they didn't get anything new.
They did get something
Oh,
new.
did they?
Hormagants went down. They're the same price as Termagants, and they got 2 abilities. They got Toxin Sacs, which lets them do 2 damage on 6s to wound, and they got Adrenal Glands, so they advance and charge an extra inch. So do Termagants. So do Warriors. Warriors, a Devourer gun, which was usually 4 points for Tyranids, is now free, and they dropped 5 points and got 2 abilities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, they just really fucked with them, eh?
You can't take flamers, though.
I can't take Flamers.
There you go.
That'd be really gross because it'd probably just be puke.
Well, and this is the thing. So, like,
Or something else.
but like,
God.
I feel like that should tell you something
Chris,
about,
come on.
about balancing,
This
right?
is totally a PG-13 podcast.
Is it?
No.
No, it's fucking not.
Fuck no.
Fucking kids.
But the like when I
Oh,
read
I just
something,
remembered I have to write down the fucking bleep. Where did that piece of paper go? Sorry.
Did you
Continue.
actually remember the time?
No.
No.
It was early on.
was
I'll have to
very
listen
early
to
on.
it.
I just
Shit.
and I mean like there are minor points changes in the rulebook. I'm sure everyone's seen that. Not everything's quite the same price. Obviously, the guns are very differently priced. But when a unit drops half of its points, that tells me it shouldn't be that many points in the tabletop game at all. So I thought that was kind of strange as well. But
Yeah.
I'll cut myself off there.
But it does raise a lot of questions because so the scale of the game is obviously very different.
Yeah.
But the core mechanics haven't changed much. So none of us are playtesters, obviously.
Certainly not.
None of us are playtesters, obviously.
This game's not right.
But when the core mechanics of the game don't change, I don't see how single model-to-model interactions affect the points changes that drastically.
If most things
Yeah.
are staying the same,
Yeah,
theoretically, it should be fine.
if the interactions are the same, I don't see how the points changes are.
Especially since Flamer's excluded, because not every army can take them for each hand they have on a soldier. Assault is super good now. So why would you make an assault-heavy army drop drastically in points and make them just get better stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like that should tell you something. And either this team has decided that some armies should be better than they are, or some shouldn't. And you'd think they would have collabed a little bit with the 40k testers, but I don't know.
Well, they this is the same team that brought Shadespire, that developed Shadespire, that's put together Killteam, and they have said.
I was really expecting a third Shadespire drop.
Yeah,
They,
sorry.
The team from Shadespire, they made Shadespire. They also made Shadespire.
and they also made Killteam.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry,
Train of thought gone.
Yeah. Sorry.
What I was going to say was I
It's
lost
alright.
my train of
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Same team that did Shadespire for balancing. No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying to jog you here.
Yeah, for same team that brought us Shadespire, also developed Killteam, and Shadespire has been lauded as a very well balanced game. Lots of reviews will
Agree.
lots of reviews will agree with me there, and GW said that this game's been very very well play tested, very thoroughly play tested. So I think we have to say that.
We'll have to play some games.
Yeah,
to find
Yeah,
out.
well-
I mean, we're all just scratching the surface right now. I mean, we've
Yeah,
already
most
played
of
around
us-
with lists. I
yeah.
think if once we start peeling off some of the layers
We
of a
all,
metaphorical onion, we'll start to really. figure
4
things
out of
out.
6 of us have one game under our
and,
belts.
and,
It's-
and
yeah.
no one's played Tyranids yet.
Yeah. Also, aren't lictors elites?
In Tyranids,
Yeah.
So then,
No, that's fine. They don't.
That's
There's still a
interesting.
thematic thing to it.
no,
Like
yeah, I know, but
Commandos and Orcs
not
aren't
very
troops either.
many,
Oh, yeah, they are.
not
Oh, yeah.
very many armies have elites transfer over, right?
Centauri,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they have the
Rust Stalkers and
Rust
Rust
Stalkers,
Stalkers,
yeah.
and Infiltrators, yeah.
But lictors are perfect for like the theme of this game. You know, they're like the insurgent. You know, the xenomorphs. Like, why wouldn't they be in a kill team? You know, does that make sense to you?
Because
it does.
because the hive mind doesn't send kill teams; they send hordes.
Well, I send
That's
single
fair.
lictors
That's
first,
fair.
right? Or cults.
Usually along at the same time, yeah. What I will say though is that because the lictor is like 23 points, and you could get a Termagant for 4. Big motion to be a little louder.
You barely register when you talk like that.
So if you take 5 Termagants or 1 lictor, the lictor has 4 wounds versus the Termagant's 5. It is a better save. It is an additional -1 to be shot, -2 to be shot in cover, and I believe that rule carries over, but I could be wrong. So if you're flesh wounded, doesn't matter who you are, you're hitting on 6s. This thing moves 9 inches, hits on 2s, has rending claws like Gene Stealers, tears through armor. You're done. Would you take that, or would you take 5 Termagants? Is that even a question? I don't know. Like, the Termagants aren't going to kill anything unless you just want to cap objectives.
Well, I mean, the lictor does. It's kind of like the spreading your guns out or having an all-in-one basket, because every flesh wound that lictor takes, and you get those at the end. Yeah, he's really good.
He's really
Yeah,
good.
It's really good. It's just like the Primaris thing. Like one Primaris, I feel like is more than double as good as a Marine, just
Yeah.
because it has 2 wounds.
And you have to plow through all those wounds before
Yeah,
you take a flesh
that's
wound.
true.
Yeah.
That Lictor's a monster.
Yeah.
Especially against everything that isn't a flamer. Take flamers. They're good against all aspects of Tyranids. If you're
That's why
fighting
dogs are
Tyranids,
cheap. 'cause
They're
the
also
flamers
good
kill,
against
right?
all aspects of everything.
Yeah.
except 2 apart.
Take warp flamers. Don't take flamers. Take warp flamers.
Oh, so just play Thousand Suns.
Yes.
I guess what I'm really trying to say in
Let's
a really
boost those sales. Get them some new models.
There you
right?
go.
Please, no one plays Thousand Suns. Please, someone join me.
I feel like a gun option
Actually-
should not be.
I have 1,000 Suns. I could actually join you. I just don't have.
Wait, not just on your Space
You have
bases?
1,000 Suns?
Yeah.
What are you
Like
doing?
new ones?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
new
do.
ones. I got one of the new ones, and I've got 9 of the old pewter ones, and they're actually like
Oh,
Custom-
I'd like the
almost
old blue
pro-painted,
ones,
man. the older ones,
I
anyway.
forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you should do.
I have some 1,000 Suns.
You guys
Great.
should dabble in that together.
We can warp
Do a
flamer
little
everyone
dabble.
in the butt.
Yeah, we'll just run the same list in a multiplayer game. And we'll have to run deal with
8 flamers and 2
eight warp
psychers.
flamers.
That's
Oh.
fine. Let's run
Sounds
8 lictors.
8 lictors.
No.
No,
Alright.
Gross.
I'll
I just
do it.
feel like a gun option should not be so insanely obvious because that just says the game is not fair.
Yeah.
If you're like, well, clearly I'll just take a flamer because nothing else is worth considering.
That's exactly
That's the
what
thing
you
is-
said
is-
about.
It's sorry, go ahead.
That's exactly what you did with when we were playing our game, and you were like, "Well, what are they? Neurological
Neurodisruptors.
neurodisruptors." You're like, "Well, those are just awesome, so I might as well take those for 2 points."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Just
just
like boom, done.
it's like
quick.
you could take a fusion pistol, I guess, like, but it's 6 inches, so you're either already charging something or you got charged and someone was insanely unlucky, or you just dropped 3 points on a fusion pistol and kill team. I mean, like, I guess it's pretty good, or you miss because you got a flesh wound. And anyways,
Yeah.
it's just silly. Like, there's just some things that are just way better.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Like, flamers should be 5 points or something. Like, make them more expensive.
Yeah, and I
limit them.
totally agree with you. If there's something that just
some of them- most of
clearly
them are limited.
disregards something that's intended to be a core game mechanic, which is these penalties to hit, right? Either through obscuring, cover, that kind of thing, the -1 penalties for being injured, whatever, then you've got to limit the number of that type of weapon you can take. Yeah.
It's the same thing as like the Dark Reapers used to be, because they didn't care about move ring and firing. They just ignored that rule, so they didn't care. The Hive Guard in ITC shoot through walls, so they don't care.
What?
Yeah, they don't
Oh
need
my
line of sight to
God.
shoot, but they're anti-tank weapons and they're infantry, so they shoot twice. So people were running them. Because, some people were running them. If you were playing Tyranids in ITC, which, good for you. But anyways, like, they just ignored a rule. So they were super awesome, because they just couldn't be shot back at. Yeah, they're awesome. So, like, this is just one of those things. Like, someone's behind a wall, they're in a window or something, you can just see their gun. Well, I don't care. You don't get a cover save, I'm going to light you up. And you're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's true.
And then you charge them. Well, probably not. I think you're going to die. So, like, where's the downside? I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I don't really see 8 flamers being the be-all, end-all list. I don't see that actually as good, because any 24-inch gun
But
will
that
outshoot
demo
them.
flamer, though,
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, 1 or 2. Perfect.
That's awesome.
It's good.
yeah.
Running 8, though, like, I don't think you can... I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll have to see. I don't know if spam will be that good.
I'm definitely going to try it out.
Yeah.
Definitely going to try it out.
Yeah.
I'll watch.
Well, the thing that'll be with the flamers is getting in there. So it'll come down to either out of range.
You need
or
the short lanes for them, right?
But that's the thing is,
out of
if
range,
there's
or
open
have
areas,
totally
just
line
kill
of sight blocking cover right there.
Yeah, that you take somebody who's a demo, you take a scout, you take a heavy guy. I mean, like, it's
Yeah, but
Actually-
they just die to heavy bolters.
maybe.
And I will say, in
Right.
fairness, that again, our board is like super cover heavy, so there were a lot.
And
of,
it's one
like,
layer.
Yeah, there
You
were a
know.
lot of
Yeah,
walls.
we didn't have a lot of levels.
We need
lot
2,
of
even
walls.
3. 3
Yeah.
levels might have changed it up a bit.
very little window.
Yeah.
anything like that.
Not much
so,
line of sight blocking dead center.
No, that's
No.
true.
So
So take that into account when you're hearing what we're all saying.
Yeah.
Here, but yeah,
Multiple
I mean, there's a lot of
levels
terrain.
around
It's
them.
just it's,
I
Yeah.
would love to play on like a 5-level, like broken into castle kind
Just
of
like
thing.
level two
Castlevania
soon
Kill
with
Team.
those things.
Yeah,
It's
it'd be
sector
super cool.
Galvanic. and
Oh yeah,
else.
no, we gotta get the Sector Mechanicus
I'd build
set
that.
that's
up.
yeah.
I'm gonna start
Lots
building some
to
of my
choose
shit at
from.
home too.
Do
Get some
it.
of that
Do
custom
it.
stuff done.
Yeah.
I have all the materials and the tools. I just have to get off my ass and do it. I don't have to buy anything. I just have to build shit.
Well,
So
all you gotta do is, instead of standing at your forge, stand at a wood machine.
At a wood machine.
At a
No,
wood
no,
machine.
At a
Instead
wood
of standing at the
Build-
forge,
build-
you stand at a wood
I'm just gonna
machine.
build a trebuchet. Fuck this shit.
At a wood, it just all you do is you look at it and it prints wood. That's what a wood machine.
should-
is.
Hashtag wood machine.
Build
Yeah,
this 40k
exactly.
terrain out of metal.
Oh,
I
forge
could.
it. Forge a
I
bunch
could,
of
man.
40K
That's our new
stuff?
Sector Mechanicus terrain.
No, I want a hive city.
Hive City.
There'll probably be some parts in there made out of metal.
Fuck yeah.
You could make some really easy just stuff with a plasma cutter and sheet metal.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Just plasma cutter,
Done. Boom.
plasma cutter, grinders. I can do all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
with sheet
A
metal. And
nice
it's
like
sheet metal's dirt
300
cheap,
pound
man.
piece of Killteam terrain.
All right,
yeah.
guys. So it took $350 to ship this here, but let's play.
Someone have a dolly?
Every table you put it on.
Somebody have a. Well, you'd build it. We just build it from the floor up.
Oh, there you go.
Table built into it. Jesus.
Well,
build a
it
big
would start on the
steel tower.
ground floor.
It's like
Yeah.
That's where
plasma
your
cutting
land
and
raiders
welding.
would start.
At your
On
feet.
the
Just
floor.
get a welder and plasma cutter and just
Just
build this
on the
fucking
floor.
tower from square one, just
You
bottom
could
up.
probably set it up in the middle of a city park and people would admire it as art.
Yeah, probably.
Or
And then we just show up every Saturday to play 40k on it.
Yeah. In the middle of city park.
This is my art piece.
That homeless person piss
use
is
it as I
dangerous
want.
terrain.
Oh. What's this yellow puddle? I don't know. It's acid. Stay out.
yeah, don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it literally.
You might get AIDS.
or dead. You might get dead.
Or both.
You might just touch it and die immediately.
Yeah.
You think that covers everything?
Yeah, I'll give that. I don't know.
All right, final quick hits. How do you feel about Killteam?
Good.
How do I feel about Killteam?
How do you feel about Killteam?
It's
It's
nice.
fluffy.
It's nice. How do you feel about Killteam?
I was happy to play one game.
All right, how do you feel about Killteam?
I'm sad Eric was only happy to play one game.
Oh.
I want to play another game.
Kyle, how do you feel about Killteam?
Still a fanboy.
All right, Matt.
I think
That's a classic Matt. Honestly,
Quick hits.
honestly,
No, I don't want.
if
I don't
he'd
want
said
explanation.
anything else, I would have been surprised.
We just checked his temperature.
Yeah, perfect. We had
I
hot,
just
we had
wanted
cold,
something
we had.
more different.
Yeah. I mean, they can't go too full bore because then you're just playing Necromunda or something, you know? Like, they have
I don't-
Necromunda
I've
for
never even
the
played
heavy
that.
rules.
That's
Very similar.
Oh, so it's also just 40k light?
No.
No.
It's probably about 30k light or something.
Necromunda's
It's its own thing.
Necromunda's right in between Killteam and Rogue Trader. It's not quite full D&D, but it's not quite. It's not.
That's
quite,
their first expansion,
That
theoretically.
that might switch it up.
Maybe.
They're gonna have some crazy options in that game because
In Rogue-
none of those models
Because
exist. in 40K.
that's their surprise leaked expansion is Rogue Trader.
Yeah, Rogue Trader
expansion to
versus
Kill
It's a
Team.
kill team, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so it's
Kill
under
Team
the
Rogue
Kill
Trader.
Team brand.
It'll be Kill Team D&D then, guaranteed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If it's in the same name as Rogue Trader, I have a copy of the original Rogue Trader
Yeah.
books, and it is D&D 40k.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what it is.
Something different. Oh, sweet.
Thank you,
Lord.
everyone, for tuning in to this almost 2-hour long podcast. I was originally planning on having it take about 50 minutes to an hour, so this is great. It's taking a long time to edit.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Matt.
We'll be dropping another one of these in 2 weeks. If we get impatient, we might even do one every week because
It's really
everyone
fun.
seems to have a lot of fun doing it. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good one.
See you guys.